Can you hear me, John? I had a little mic problem. I realized my mic wasn't plugged in. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, Lewis, are you perfectly
all right.
fine?
Because
I hope you hear me okay.
I could hear you. I was using the computer mic when we were talking. I realized, oh my God, my actual mic is not plugged in, so I had to scramble and plug it in. But I'm glad you can hear me. But we're live now. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We got quite a few people watching right now. So, John, we got a lot to talk about. New Japan Pro Wrestling Noah, Big Japan Pro Wrestling, All Japan Pro Wrestling, lots to talk about. But first, I didn't know you were a professional wrestler in the past. I want to talk about that for a little bit, man. That's. I found that this week. So, talk about your experience as a professional wrestler. I want to hear about it, man.
Well, it started back in 2001. Actually, I was a teenager when I first broke into the wrestling business. So, I've pretty much been a jack of all trades. I don't know if I've ever sent you my resume before. I need to probably do that. But yeah, I was a pro wrestler, pro wrestling manager, ring announcer, commentator, of course, which is I'm more known for now than anything outside of being a promoter. And also, hey, I'm now part of this wonderful show as a podcaster. So, but no, I started wrestling 2001. Started doing that when I was in the state of Florida, where I grew up at, and wrestled all over the South, and mainly from Florida to Kentucky, Tennessee, Indiana, and Illinois area. So, yep, it's one of those things that I was known for doing, but for most people who just got to know me, everyone, of course, now knows me as, hey, that's John Bullard, the promoter, commentator guy, instead of just, oh yeah, I remember he was a professional wrestler. So yeah, I have to send you some photos and stuff when I wrestled.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You were the deathmatch king, weren't you?
No,
the deathmatch king of the United States.
Believe it or not, I never did death matches. I was actually a traditional. No, I mean, if the opportunity came, I probably would have done one because I think it would have been an interesting environment. I think every wrestler should be tested and doing something that they may have never done before. But no, I was actually trained very much in old school technical wrestling and traditional style of wrestling.
Okay, I don't think I gave you a proper introduction. Did I? Did I announce you before we started?
No,
I just want to say I want
to. You jump right at me and say, "Hey, this bald goof I'm talking to." Lewis always. If you fans don't know about this, that's how Lewis actually talks to me outside of the radio show. He always goes like, "Ah, bald goof." Right
I only tell it like it is. I tell it like it is. That's what I. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure being a professional wrestler, you're used to getting a proper introduction. So I'm glad we could. If you want to leave, I can introduce you, and you can
You're fine.
Walk down the aisle to your seat.
Give me that Madison Square Garden treatment. Come on.
Yeah, Madison Square Garden, man. So Ethan is running a little late. Our other host, he's going to join us. He said he's running a little late, so I'm waiting for him to pop in. As soon as he pops in, Ethan Black will be with us. But let's get into it. It's New Japan Pro Wrestling. Again, I want to thank everybody that's watching right now. We got quite a few people watching live, which is good. Thank you very much, everybody. So New Japan Pro Wrestling, The New Beginning in Sapporo, 2-night event. Let's talk about night one. Nick Nemeth defeating Dave Finlay to win the IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship. That was a little bit of a surprise to me. I didn't think I thought they were gonna. But Finlay was in the midst of a big push, and Nick Nemeth comes in. Formerly Dolph Ziggler of the WWE, comes in and wins the title. It was Finlay's first defense. So what are your thoughts on that? Do you think that was a mistake, or was that? Okay, go ahead.
I don't think it is. I think it now gives Finlay a new rival to fight with over that title. So in his nickname of, Dolph Ziggler, one of the best wrestlers in the world, that I felt like just because of his role in WWE for such a long time, he was kind of like overshadowed, even though everybody knew like how good he was in the ring. He was like, the best way I could explain him to people who may not be familiar with wrestling or they're like an old school wrestling fan, he was the closest thing that we had to a Mr. Perfect, because the way he would take his bumps, and his selling was $1 million. He's a hell of a seller. But now we're getting to really see, without the handcuffs, how good Namath really is as an in-ring performer. So I think this is his year, his breakout year. to show the world who he is. We're seeing him now in New Japan. He just recently started doing work with TNA Wrestling.
Yeah.
He also showed up at GCW as well too. So he's making his rounds all over United States and now Japan as well.
I think he was just in Puerto Rico as well, wasn't he?
Yeah.
World Wrestling. Yeah. Yeah. But that's a great comparison. I never thought about that. You're right. He's the modern day Mr. Perfect. That's a great comparison there.
Just go back and watch the comparisons of how they would bump for a clothesline and just little things.
Hold the phone. Ethan has just popped in. Let's get Ethan. Let's get to the right screen here. Hold on. Let me switch to 3. Add to stage, and there he is. There's the man, Ethan.
Hello. Did you hear me?
How's it going, buddy?
Oh, living the dream.
You sound a little down, man. Does he sound down to you, John?
He probably heard you talk trash about him.
Yeah, I did. I was talking trash about you before we started, man. I was just absolutely ripping into you, man.
Don't make me drive up to Windsor, have a Windsor death match.
Well, with all the confusion in the snow, you might drive to Windsor, Nova Scotia instead of Windsor, Ontario.
we should give him a proper introduction. He's like, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages. He hails all the way from the island of Nova Scotia, Canada. He puts the maple in syrup. He puts the bacon in Canadian. He is a one and only Ethan Black.
Boo! Boo! Ethan Fro. Oh no, Ethan's getting mad. I'm just kidding. Yay for Ethan. Actually, Ethan, we were just talking about Nick Nemeth winning the IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship. What are your thoughts on that, man? I thought it might have been a mistake. John thinks it wasn't a mistake. What do you think?
What was the point giving Finley the title if he was going to drop it within a month?
Thank you. That's that's what I was thinking. I mean, he was in the midst of a big push, but John made a great point as well. It gives I'll let John explain it.
It's the element of surprise that now makes Finley have a competitor and rival to fight over with that belt. And what a rival he gets out of that, because, I always call him Dolph Ziggler, but Nick Nemeth, in my opinion, is like one of the best wrestlers that never got his due. And I don't see it as like, they're taking away from Finley's time. I think now, think about this, Finley has a guy who was a former WWE world champion as his competitor. And when he beats him to regain that belt, it makes it even more important, because it's like, first match, you got me off surprise. First match, I thought I was coming in young, cocky. I'm the top of the world. Look at me, no one can't touch me. Bullet Club, all that stuff. And then he got surprised and he lost a belt. But now he's got to come back to the gym. Now he's got to hit the gym twice as hard. Now he's got to come back twice the animal, twice the monster, twice the razor blade in that ring to come at anybody. And now he has the chance to regain that belt when they do have the rematch. And that rematch now becomes more important just because of that.
Yeah, but they really pushed the Bullet Club when they defeated United Empire in that huge steel cage match. Was it the dog cage match they called it? And I thought he was going to get a big push. I thought this. What's that?
As a dog pound cage or whatever.
Dog pound cage, like yeah. That was a great match. That really put the Bullet Club on the map. That really made them, they were a legitimate force, but that made them an even more legitimate force. Dave Finley now leading the Bullet Club. United Empire defeated. Bullet Club is now, above the United Empire, one of the top factions, and then he loses to Nick Nemeth a few weeks later. So I don't know. I get your point, John, but I think it might have been just a little bit of a mistake, because now it takes the wind out of Dave Finley's sails. Now he's got to chase Nick Nemeth, and do we want to see Dave Finley chasing Nick Nemeth, or is it more attractive seeing Nick Nemeth chasing Dave Finley? I don't know. You know what I mean?
I get your guys' points. I do. I just think that it's not really a chase. I say it's more of a big fight build up for him to come back for his title on that. Sometimes, we look at pro wrestling as the old school mentality of the chase, Where in Japan, I feel like it's more of like that price fight. So I feel we get from boxing. It's like, okay, I lost the first fight. That's okay. I'll come back stronger, meaner, leaner, tougher. I'll give him the rematch. that's why I'm kind of seeing how New Japan's trying to build this up. That's at least what I'm thinking it will be. But who knows? Time is the telling of the tape.
I'm not mad. I'm not too mad about it, honestly. It threw me off guard too. Like John does make a great point. Like I'm not mad about it. I actually do like Nick Nimitz, so but I do. But that was just my like why would you put the title on Finley and lose him? But I'm not mad. I'm not as mad about it as I'll talk about what we talked about the junior title match. I'll give more of my thought on that one later.
Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. I Nick Nemeth is a tremendous talent. I don't doubt his talent. He's absolutely fantastic. But his first match in the New Japan Pro Wrestling wins the title. I don't know. It just didn't seem right. But no, we'll see. I understand, John. But let's move on. Matt Riddle. Let's talk about Matt Riddle for a little bit. Never been a Matt Riddle fan. Defeats Tanahashi. Wins the TV title. I definitely wasn't a fan of that. Because I'm not a fan of Matt Riddle. I am not. Him defeating Tanahashi left a sour taste in my mouth. What did you think there, Ethan? Yeah. I don't even think the match was that good to be honest. But go ahead.
Well, the TV title is only 15 minutes, so I mean,
yeah.
I think the match only went like 8:53. I think it went less than 10 minutes, but I don't know. Like I like Tanahashi. I mean, he didn't really need the title, but I just wish it was somebody else.
I kind of think that maybe he dropped the title because he wants to devote more time, with his presidential duties.
Probably,
Japan, and he doesn't want to wrestle as much. But Matt Riddle, what's your thoughts? What are your thoughts on Matt Riddle, John?
Well, I remember when Matt Riddle first started out in wrestling before his WWE run. So, we got to see Matt Riddle as, that MMA guy, came into pro wrestling. He was putting on killer matches. And I think why some people feel like they're sour on Matt, I feel like the guys and girls who never got to see Matt Riddle wrestle in MLW or wrestle for Progress, they kind of saw him as just the comedy act type of guy from WWE. So I understand where some people are like, really? This guy beats Tanahashi? But I'll give him a chance on this to see how Riddle does in New Japan. I feel like we will actually get some good matches out of Riddle there.
Okay.
But on the other hand, I could also understand the anger of some New Japan fans not wanting to see Tanahashi to lose a match. So I haven't had the chance. I'll be honest, I haven't had the chance to watch the match. I will today, though. So I'll message you guys and give you my take on it for the next show, how I feel about that match. But honestly, it looks like New Japan's trying to bring in the influx of former TV names to be on their product now with, of course, the former Dolph Ziggler, now Matt Riddle being in New Japan. But yeah, I think Tanahashi now is at the stage where, he's the president of the company, but also maybe it's his way of also being the guy who's the legitimate veteran who's been there, done that, the former ace of the company, now doing his role of making sure the younger talent is being established.
Actually, Nick Nemeth actually offered Tanahashi the first shot. I'm not sure if Tanahashi accepted. Does anybody here accept it?
It sounds like he did, yeah.
He did accept, okay. All right, so Tanahashi gets the first shot. I don't think Tanahashi's going to beat Nemeth. I think Nemeth will probably...
I'm pretty excited for that match. I'm not going to lie. I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, no, that should be a terrific match. Nemeth saying Tanahashi was one of his idols, so that should be a fantastic match. Yeah, I'm looking at it. Matt Riddle defeats Tanahashi in 8 minutes 53 seconds. So it wasn't that good of a match. I wasn't really. It was okay. It seems like these days, I don't know if you noticed that Tanahashi has trouble keeping his pants up. I don't know if anyone's noticed that.
I have noticed that. Yeah.
It seems like his pants seem to be sliding down. He's got to keep picking them up.
Bro, you need like smaller pants or something.
Yeah, or needs to get like bigger. He's wearing pants are too tight. He's got to wear.
Yeah, or that.
He can't be wearing his gear from 20 years ago anymore. And he's got to get some new gear there. What about I know we're gonna leave Show and El Desperado to you because after you told me the result, I did not watch the match, Ethan. But Evil versus Shota Umino. I thought that was an okay match. I was really hoping Umino would have pulled it out. I like Umino. I think he should have kept his hair the way it was. He got a haircut. But I really like Umino. Great talent. I was hoping that he was going to walk away with that never openweight title. But unfortunately, he did not. But I thought the match overall was very good. A lot of outside interference. I thought we were going to see somebody. In the back of my mind, I'm like, what if John Moxley shows up just out of the blue and helps Umino? I thought that would have been fantastic, but that obviously didn't happen. But your thoughts on Shota Umino there, Ethan, and that match?
So Umino, great talent. By the way, he's 0-5 in title matches, which that's disappointing for someone who wants to try to make their new ace. The match overall fucking sucked. I hated it.
Yeah.
I liked that a little bit better than the junior title match. And by the way, the junior title match, that was so stupid. But I mean, the interference, it's House of Torch. I mean, they're gonna interfere. Jake came in the junior title match, but I thought Umino had it, but Evil retains, unfortunately. But I did like it better than the junior title match, though.
You didn't think? I didn't think it was a great match. I thought it was a okay match. But you hated the match, huh? You hated them. I just didn't like all the interference. I mean, it happened like how many ref bumps were there in that match? Like 3 or 4?
At least, yeah.
You got like 3 or 4 different refs getting bumped, and 3 and 4 more refs coming into the ring. It was a little bit of a mess. I didn't like that, but Umino's he'll be back. He'll win a title. He'll get a championship soon enough. What are your thoughts there on Evil, House of Torture, and Shota Umino, Johnny Baby?
I do think that Umino has a lot of potential, but I do agree with Ethan, and being 0-5 for like any form of title challenges, it's kind of rough. But also, I have to think about this, and this is just me being a promoter and booker in wrestling. When All Japan Pro Wrestling first started out, Kenta Kobashi was like 0-75 in like his first full reign of trying to be on the main roster. So, we built up, they slowly built up Kobashi, but for the modern day fan too, I can see why they would feel so exhausted on wanting to cheer for a guy that comes up short every single time for a title challenge. So hopefully pretty soon we see Umino get a big championship win, because he's definitely a hell of a talent. I think New Japan has something very special in him.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Yeah, he'll get a title. He'll get his title win. Maybe they're just building it up, and that
and that's what I think too. He's that underdog.
He's that underdog. And he'll finally win it. And the crowd will just explode when he finally wins that title.
Did you want me to talk about the junior title match, or are we just skipping that completely?
Well, there's one other match that I want to talk about that I thought was fantastic. One of the best matches on the show. Maya Iwatani versus Mina Shirakawa. That was absolutely out of the world, freaking fantastic. And I hope everybody here agrees with that, if you've in fact seen the match. But that was absolutely phenomenal.
It was. Oh, sorry, John.
No, I agree. It is.
I mean, 2 of the best Stardom talents. Maya Iwatani's like the Tanahashi of Stardom. I mean, this match ruled. Honestly, this is for night 1. This was my match of the night. Honestly,
yeah, that was my opinion. That was the best match of the show on night 1, without a doubt.
Spoiler, night 2 was way better for me, honestly. But we'll get to that after. But the IWGP Women's Title match, that was like we all said, match of the night. Like, it doesn't even bother with the other night ones.
I thought Shirakawa was going to pull it out a couple of times. There were a number of near falls. But wow, what a match. And I'm just looking, they went for only for 12 minutes, but just from start to finish, that match was just absolutely rocking. Best match of the night on night 1, without a doubt, in my opinion, and your opinion as well, Ethan. And I think John feels the same way. but yeah, that was a fantastic match. So let's go to the match that you said was horrible, and it sounded horrible, and I didn't watch it. But Ethan, explain what happened with Sho and El Desperado. I know Sho won the title via countout. Was that a stipulation in the match going into it?
No. So in Japan, in Chris Charles said commentary that titles can change hands by count in like New Japan. So what happened was they were fighting on the outside. I think the referee was up to like 15 or 16, but basically Sho got back in the ring. Desperado tried to get in the ring, and Narita came from underneath the ring and basically choked him out. And then the referee said 20. And Sho won. So now he will go to March 6th to the anniversary show to face the world champion.
But it's a count out, though. I mean, they can't change it on a count out, though.
Well, in Japan, that's what they do.
That's what they do in Japan?
Yep.
I didn't.
Yeah, title changes. No, that I do like that in a way, but honestly, like I used to like Show, like when he first turned heel, I was like, okay, I could get behind this. Then he joined House of Torture, and
yeah, no, Show was fantastic before House of Torture. I was a huge Show fan. I think he was in. There was a tournament he was in, and he was just absolutely fantastic. It's probably the Super Juniors, but he was just absolutely phenomenal and just an incredible talent. Then he went to House of Torture, changed his character, and then just since then, I just have a hard time, enjoying Show matches. But
we're not the only one, Bobby Lewis, who thinks that. Like, I don't know, he's. I thought he's gotten worse since joining House of Torture. Like, I get you got to do the heel like bullshit and stuff, but like. I don't know. It's every match, and he just got way worse. I wish he goddamn leave.
Yeah, so do I. I mean, I wish he'd go back to. I would rather him just go back and join Yo and let them form a tag team again. And just not a fan of Show since he and he's been with them for quite some time now. It's been about
4 years.
4 years.
Yeah, because it should have been because what happened. So during the junior tag league, they went like and they basically lost every match except for the Ghetto Dick Dogo because that was a double forfeit. So basically he turned on him, and then like literally at that first COVID stadium show, he literally joined them. At first I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot, and then like a month later I was like, yeah, I can't rock with this. Sorry, Show.
All right, so if Tetsuya Naito got counted out of the ring, Sonata would have been the champ of the IWGP.
Yep.
Okay. All right. I'm a little embarrassed.
Yeah, that's for new. I don't know. Big Japan.
I wasn't aware of that. I wasn't aware of that rule, so I'm a little embarrassed right now. But
we should have a guy who wins by count out every single match just to piss off like Ethan in the worst way. Like, oh no, what was going to happen next? The 75th time he wins by count out.
You know what grinds my gears? No, I will say I do like title change on count in a way because. I mean, I get like heel. Oh, I'm leaving by like retained. So that part, that's my only pro. But other than that, this match is skippable. Honestly.
Now I understand why there's so much drama when the count is up to 18 and the wrestler is still on the floor. And then when they get to 19 and they just at the last minute just jump into the ring and the fans are like, oh, and I'm like, why are they clapping for? But now you understand why they're clapping. It's so they're just barely getting back and retaining their title. And before I go on to the night two, I just forgot to say, this is Triple Crown Puroresu Podcast brought to you by BodySlam.net. Head to BodySlam.net for all your professional wrestling news. How to get that plug in. And a quick plug on my part. I have an interview with Naomichi Marufuji that's up on the site now, BodySlam.net. Go ahead and check it out. It was a thrill of being able to get that interview. And I just have to get that shameless plug out there. Sorry guys. So let's move on to night two. What was your favorite part of night two? Who wants to take this one? I'll let you guys arm wrestle for it. Whoever wants to take this one. Favorite part of night two.
I'll take it. So match of the night for me was the hair versus hair match between Yoji Tsuji and Yu Uemura.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought that was the best match. I didn't watch the whole thing because, each show is like 4.5 hours long, and who has 9 hours to watch the whole thing? So I just watched the matches.
That man right there named Ethan Black.
Yeah, that's who in the hell has 9 hours to watch both shows?
Bro, you know what
Ethan's like me. I do.
Okay, that's how I spent my Saturday.
I have 9 hours.
That's how I spent my Saturday. I watched the Chamber on delay, the WWE Relation Chamber. I watched New Beginning in Sapporo Night 2, and I tried to watch the Ultimate Show. Obviously, I didn't have time, which we'll get to later. By the way, I know who wins the World Tag Team match. Spoiler.
I'm sorry, in All Japan?
Yeah, in All Japan, yeah.
Yeah, I watched that match this morning as well. We're going to talk about that shortly.
Okay, no problem. But basically, yeah, but Night 2 for me, hair versus hair match was my match on that show. Honorable mention, I'd probably say the world title match was pretty good.
Yeah, no, I thought hair versus hair match was excellent. I'm glad Yota Tsuji kept his hair because he's got a nice flowing lock. He's got nice flowing hair, and would have been a shame if he wouldn't look right, without the hair. I don't know. Umura, I think he'll get away with being bald for a bit, but fantastic match. It was just intense from start to finish.
28
Great
minutes
battle.
this went.
What's that?
For 28 minutes, it didn't feel like 28 minutes.
I know. I mean, it's 28 minutes, 20 seconds. And that Gene Blaster came out of nowhere. He got hit. And Umura hits the German suplex, and Suji pops up and hits the Gene Blaster and wins the match. And I kind of like Umura accepting defeat, grabbing the clippers and shaving his own head.
Let's just get this done yet. Like Suzuki.
But he just left it halfway in the middle. He had hair here. He had just shaved off in the middle. Then he did his post-match interview like that. And with just a big strip in the middle. But he said he accepts defeat. He's going to train tomorrow as the next day is normal, and he's looking forward to the New Japan Cup, which I think starts. Is it March 7th?
March 7th. Yep, it's right after the anniversary show.
Yeah. So, but both these guys are gonna. This is the feud that's gonna carry New Japan Pro Wrestling for the next 20 years. I think. Yota Tsuji and Yuya Uemura. I think these guys are going to meet each other a lot more in the next 10, 20 years. Yeah. So, what do you think about that? Do you think that's think this is the feud of the future for New Japan Pro Wrestling, John?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, someone who's actually got the chance to work with Yuya.
I'll be right back, guys. Just one sec.
Yuya is a phenomenal baby face.
He's going to watch some more wrestling. Then he's going to come back.
Yeah. 3 hours later. Hey guys, I finished the 12
3
hours
later. He would talk. Okay, I just watched the whole All Japan Pro Wrestling card, guys. Well, guys,
but no, I think Tsuji and Uemura both are the bright future prospects that are now really showing the world of New Japan Pro Wrestling, like who they really are. And for them to have a 28-minute match, a really cool old school stipulation, hair versus hair. I was kind of shocked that Yuya did not get the win. But on the other hand, he's also that sympathetic baby face that is like, okay, so I might have lost this, but now you're knowing like something really big's about to happen for him to go through this tremendous loss, losing his hair. It's like, okay, what's next for Yuya? So I'm excited to see what he does. He's a good friend of mine too. So I always root for him. He worked for me when for one of my shows, and then we worked together at TNA, and was an absolute blast just to always be around him. You talk like a genuine guy. He worked for me for a show, and about 6 months later, I got the chance to do some work for TNA, and he sees me, and I'm thinking like, he probably won't remember me, because this guy's wrestles like all the time, so he sees like 1,000 promoters. Sure enough, comes up, gives me a hug. Right out of the way, he's like, "Oh, how you doing?" And I was like, "Oh, doing good. How about you?" And he's like, "Oh," he's just smiling from cheek to cheek, like always a nicest, happiest guy, and just he's such a good human being. So I'm rooting for him no matter what. So yeah, Yuya's awesome.
Do you think TNA or Impact Wrestling at the time? Do you think they used him properly? I kind of think they kind of used him towards the end as a comedy act with
Joe Hendry.
Yeah, but and then he goes back because he was when he was in New Japan as a young lion and New Japan Pro Wrestling strong. He was fantastic. Then he went to Impact Wrestling, and he kind of started using him almost like a comedy act.
Here's the thing, though. This is why I don't feel like that was a bad thing. They actually helped him develop character. They helped him develop his persona and his personality. So it wasn't just like, oh yeah, here's a serious wrestler. It's like, this guy actually could be entertaining. This guy could actually be sympathetic. He could be super tough, or he can make you laugh and smile too, because in the end, like every babyface, you need to have the ability to do all three.
Excellent point. That's why we have John with us. Great point. That makes complete sense, man. So I understand now. So
well, when you think about this though, too, like most Japanese wrestlers, when they're put into the U.S. market, they're usually given two gimmicks. Either they're the foreign menace, which is overkilled and never needs to be brought back, in my opinion. But on the other hand, too, it's always what's his persona? Oh, well, he's just a really tough Japanese guy that can wrestle. Like, okay, like every Japanese guy is the tough Japanese guy that can wrestle. So it was kind of cool to be like, hey, he's a tough Japanese guy that can wrestle. He looks like Tanahashi's son. And on top of that, he actually has personality. And that, dude, I'm telling you, when he came out, women in that crowd, they love them some Yuya Uemura. I'm just saying, like they like that he actually had a persona and a big smile, and he could take a joke and throw a joke right back at you. So, and Joe Hendry's like such a cool dude too. I love Joe Hendry.
Oh, yeah. Very, very entertaining. Very entertaining.
I don't know if you guys ever saw my segment with Joe Hendry on TV. If you haven't, I'll send it to you. It was
please do. I want to see. I like that AJ
it's hilarious.
That one where he does the AJ teenage theme song, and he's like, "Banning from diving." I was like, he's great, but I thought the pair, but what I didn't even think of it when I first saw him in TNA. I was like, oh God, call me. And when John brought that up, I was like, you know what? Okay, that was a good point. But him and Alexander, his final match in TNA was actually really good.
Yeah,
that was really good.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You said the Japanese wrestlers were brought in as diabolical bad guys. Is that how you phrased it?
Well, I mean, think about it. How many times WWF and WWE always used Japanese wrestlers as the foreign menace?
Yeah, I was going to lead into because there was a funny meme I saw some time ago where it's a picture of Shinsuke Nakamura and Vince McMahon saying, "So when is he going to use the green mist?"
He's been using red mist lately, so you're close.
So he is using mist now. Okay, okay. So they did force him to use the mist then, but it was when he first started. When he first came up to whether it was Raw or SmackDown, I think he interrupted the Miz. It was SmackDown, and so when does he use the green mist? So that was where did that originate? That originated from Kabuki, right? The Great Kabuki.
Yeah, it was Kabuki. Originally, it was created by Gary Hart.
Okay.
Gary Hart was actually the one who came up with the concept of the mist.
Of the mist.
And yeah, it's Gary Hart's book. I actually have it on PDF format. It's a really, really rare book. It's not. I think if you find it on Amazon right now, it's like $500.
Okay.
Yeah. And cool. And here's the interesting thing about Gary Hart's book. That book didn't get published until the day after Gary Hart died.
Okay.
Because
I think I read that somewhere.
It was a lot of the beginning of the story kind of talks about his childhood, but the middle, I think why he didn't let it get published yet was actually talking about his time working for the Chicago Crime Syndicate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a fascinating book, man. Gary Hart's one of my heroes.
Okay.
So reading that part was like, okay, now I know why this didn't get published, so fast while he was alive. So he wanted to make sure, things were protected.
Okie doke, man. I'm just checking Cyrus said he might be able to join us. I was mentioning to John earlier, so I'm just checking a message. Nothing from Cyrus. I don't think Cyrus is going to join us today. But let's move on. Let me get to my notes here. So the world title match, IWGP World Heavyweight Title match. I thought it was a good match. Didn't think it was a great match. It looked like there were a couple of miscues during the match, which is okay. They're humans. People make mistakes. But did you notice a few miscues there, Ethan?
A few, yeah.
Yeah.
Not too many, but I still like the Wrestle Kingdom match a little better.
Yeah, the match was good. It seemed like the ending was kind of rushed though. Usually Naito's going to win with Destino or two, but he won with a swinging or a tornado DDT into a cradle. And
something like that. It was like a tornado DDT into like a inside cradle. Yeah, I thought that. I was like, oh, it's over.
Yeah, I was still thought that I was going to kick out. I was like, unless he forgot to kick out, I don't know. But he didn't kick out, and that was the end of the match. It was like 24 minutes and 5 seconds long. But I thought it was an okay match. It wasn't as good as I was expecting it to be. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't a match that I'm going to rush to watch again after this podcast is over. If that makes any sense.
It makes it. I forgot to mention too. That's on. I think it was night one. Zack Sabre Jr. Eugene Nagata. That's another match you need to go check out when you have a chance.
Which one?
Zack Sabre Jr. and Eugene Nagata. I think that was the opening of night one. I think.
Oh, okay. Let me. Who won that? Let me just pull it up. Who won that?
Zack Sabre Jr. by submission.
Okay. Well, I'll have to check that one out. I didn't see that. I skipped the whole. The preliminary matches, but I'll check it out. I believe you, man. I believe you. So, Naito and Okada go at it one more time. Naito wants to give him the LIJ fist. Okada's going to go for it, but then Naito attacks him, and they have a brief interaction. I thought was pretty cool. I was a little nervous when Okada came to the ring. I thought he was going to call for an impromptu match and win the title in his last match with New Japan Pro Wrestling. That's what I was like, I hope that doesn't happen, and thank goodness it didn't happen. Did you get that feeling at all, John or Ethan, that might be happening?
I did. I was like, oh no,
Yeah.
we don't need Okada vacating 2 belts already. He already vacated the never open weight 6-man tag titles. We don't need him doing the world title. But I mean, it was cool to see. I thought they were gonna do the Kijimoto Chono moment from last year. I was like, oh, here we go.
Yeah, same here. Same vibe.
I was waiting for it too. I'm like, oh, okay, Destino Cara and the Rainmaker. I'm like, oh shit, it's gonna happen. Ring the bell.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna hit the Rainmaker quickly. It's kind of like what was it, WrestleMania? Was it WrestleMania 10? Hulk Hogan jumped in for Bret Hart and
9
beat Yokozuna in like 30 seconds for the. I thought we were gonna. Oh my god, we're gonna see that, and he's
I got you, brother. I got you.
By the way, guys, I sent in our group chat the video of me and TNA. Lewis, I don't know if you could present that or not, but if you do the video file, it's there to show. It's quite hilarious, and Yuji Uemura is part of that video too. So
yeah, I don't think I able to show it on here, or if I am able to, I don't know how to do it on StreamYard, but I will definitely check it out. Let me see. Did I get it?
yeah, it's in our group chat.
Oh, it's in the group chat. Let me pull up the group chat. What's so funny there, Ethan? Oh, there it is. Yeah, in the group chat. There it is. Okay, well, check it out. I guess when we're done, and we'll send a few laugh emojis to you, John. Okay, so when we're done watching it,
you know how warm this old man's heart.
Yeah. So well, you said it's funny, so that's what you want, right? You want a laugh emoji?
Yes, of course.
Yeah. Okay.
Johnson, you better fucking laugh. I'll put you for the table.
Hey, hey, Ethan, did you know John was once a professional wrestler, or he might? Are you still doing that, or was that done?
I retired 2019.
Okay, his claim to fame is he wrestled Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 12 in the main event.
Yep.
One more match.
One more match. Yeah, one more match.
I had 17 WrestleMania appearances in a row. I beat Virgil out of his.
Yeah, he's the one that really.
Shout out to Mike though. I hope Mike is feeling better.
John really ended Undertaker's streak, but they decided not to show it.
Taker had an off night that night, so I got lucky. You know.
He just rolled him up.
No, Lewis, he finished his store and he beat Rowan for the title.
I'm the
John
one
Bullard finishes the story.
I'm the one they acknowledge.
Yeah, this acknowledge John.
He had help from The Rock.
Were you John Bullard, or did you have another? Were you like John the Animal Bullard, or
I wrestled as John Wolfstorm.
Ooh.
John Wolfstorm?
Wolfstorm.
Oh, well, Storm. Okay, that's actually a pretty good name. I think it's a Wolf Store, like a store to buy the.
Yeah, so it was like a 7-Eleven shopkeeper. That was actually my entire gimmick.
My finishers to stock in the shelves.
Yeah. The stock exchange. The other one was called the cash out.
The checkout.
The final closing. The final closing. You know.
Final sale.
Comes to the ring with a paper and plastic bag. Do you want paper or plastic to package it?
I did the plastic bag to choke out the opponent. You know,
did you need a grocery cart or did you need a basket?
Yeah, I brought the grocery cart out like New Jack did back in the days. So a trash can full of weapons. It was like, loaves of bread and slushies and other weapons. So, yeah. DDT, you missed a boat on me. I'm still able to show up and do the job. Just pay me and I'll count the lights.
Pay me, pin me. Who was that? It was Al Snow, right?
Yeah.
DDT. You could.
John won the Iron Man heavyweight title for 5 seconds and lost to a broom.
I mean, for the love of God, if a blow up doll could be like a 78-time world champion, there's no reason my fat ass can't get a title reign somewhere for 1 second.
Absolutely. That's
I'll
that
lose to a little person. Like, come on.
Yoshioka is the
Yeah,
name.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think of that? I think that's horrible. But what do you think of that whole gimmick?
I don't mind it. It gets me. Excuse me. It gets me a good laugh. I don't mind it, but it's there for me. Honestly, I can take it or leave it.
Yeah, it's just Anyway, we won't spend much time. We won't spend any time talking about a blow up doll. So
that's for next week's podcast.
That's next
in
week.
Lewis's dark closets. Anyway,
next week's podcast.
Next week he takes
Next
shots.
week I just have the blow up dolls behind me, and it's like,
Hey, well, he trashes Dragon Gate for 5 minutes straight.
Yeah, where's my $12.99 or $15.99? Yeah.
Where's my $15?
I will send my army of blow up dolls to destroy you.
War Games. They'll be my War Games tag team.
War Game. No,
War
Dogtown
Game.
Cage. Dogtown.
June Skywalker, I'm coming for you.
With my lightsaber.
Oh my god.
Yuki. One of them. Put one of them against Ishikawa in a death match.
Hey, there you go.
Holy shit! This podcast went off the rails.
Oh man. So what do we think we're done talking? Anything else with New Japan, or should we move on?
Honestly, for night 2, I would say watch the hair match, the world title match. Okada's last. Honestly, the GOG for GOG match, that was actually pretty good for a quick 14 minutes.
Okay, well we'll have to check that out. Let's let John talk about Big Japan Pro Wrestling. There's a huge title match coming up. First of all, Yuya Yoki successfully defending his title against Kazumi Kikuta, which I was very happy about. But now he's got another huge challenge coming up. And John, since you're Big Japan Pro Wrestling better than all of us, I'll let you take it away.
Well,
brother.
this week, Big Japan had 4 shows at the park that they're known for going to. And the park shows were pretty cool because the shows, excuse me, the shows building up to it. They were like special produced events by different talents. Yuya Oki had his own produced show. It was like a 1-day tag team tournament. Then I know that the other guys were producing their events. Some were comedy, some were more serious. But in that regard for the week, a big matchup occurred, and Nomura actually pinned Yuya Oki to become the new number 1 contender. Now, leading this up to the March 20th Corrigan Hall show, we will actually get to see Nomura versus Aoki. I think that's just going to be a phenomenal match. Nomura's, of course, known for his tag team wrestling with our guy Fuminori Abe, but also Nomura is also a accomplished singles wrestler and someone who I feel like might be right now currently in the strong division probably the biggest threat to Yuya's title reign as the strong champion. Also, for the March 20th event, Ishikawa versus Tsukamoto has been announced for that. Tsukamoto has actually scored pins on Ishikawa, so this is a huge build-up for the Deathmatch Championship between those guys. But also coming up on the 27th, which is going to be on Tuesday here in the United States time, there is the next big event for Big Japan Pro Wrestling, Big B Child 2024, brought to you by their sponsors. And the lineup is actually looking pretty good. You got Hideyoshi Kamitani and Yuki Ishikawa teaming up versus Takumi Tsukamoto and Ryuji Ito in a tag match. That will be a banger all the way through. All 4 guys are phenomenal talents. Ito's a legend. Then you also have another tag team matchup with Wakamatsu and Abdullah Kobayashi taking on Hoshino and also Kazumi Kikuta that we just talked about. Diamondji will take on Kota Sekifuda in a match. Huge fan of both those guys. Diamondji actually had a hell of a match against Nakano at the Corrigan Hall. Speaking of Nakano, he'll actually be teaming up with Yuko Miyamoto, taking on Daisuke Sekimoto and your boy, Yuya Aoki, in a tag team match. That's a tag team match I'm looking forward to. Huge fan of Miyamoto. Of course, everybody thinks of him as his deathmatch wrestling, but he's also a phenomenal strong style wrestler. Nakano, in my opinion, is a great find for Big Japan Pro Wrestling to have him on the roster. He's been having great matches. Sekimoto is a living legend. He's been like the poster boy for Big Japan, but also I think Yuya, has been killing it as a strong champion. And then of course we have Fuminori Abe and Nomura taking on Kazuki Hashimoto and also Nagawa. And then we have Daishe Hashimoto taking on Kazumasa Yoshida. And that's a matchup I'm also looking forward to in the Strong Style Championship. And Lewis, you're losing your shit over there. What's going on?
because we have a special guest right behind Ethan. It keeps looking into the camera, and I just think it's hilarious. Sorry.
Oh yeah, how many dogs do you have, Ethan? That's like the second or third.
So this is Hershey. She's a German Shepherd.
Get Hershey closer. Bring Hershey in. I don't mean to cut you off there, John. But Hershey looked like, no, bring in Hershey. Hershey has the look on her face, or his face that.
Here's the other one. His name is Buddy.
Buddy.
Yeah, I used to have a Maltese that I lost recently. So yeah, that dog just warms my heart, man. I love dogs.
It's just like when you announced the Ishikawa match, the Hershey looked like you got Hershey's attention. You said it was Ishikawa, and Hershey was like, "What? Ishikawa?"
She thought she heard treats.
I'm sorry, John. Go ahead. Well, you were talking about the upcoming matches.
Sorry. Yeah. I was talking about Daishe Hashimoto versus Kazumasa Yoshida.
Okay.
And that's going to be great because I think Hashimoto is very much a underrated talent. I know a lot of people talk about his father, the late great Shinya Hashimoto, but I think his son has done very well for himself, definitely in Big Japan. Yoshida, Kazumasa, as me and you both watched him wrestle, Lewis. Kazumasa is a phenomenal talent that I think might become the next guy being built up behind Yuya as like a potential strong champion for the future. And then Masaki Morihiro will be taking on Yushi Taniguchi.
Oh, you disappeared there. Oh, you're back. Okay, sorry.
Yep. But Taniguchi versus Morihiro as the opening match for the show coming up for Big B Child. And of course, this all is building up towards, the March 20th Corrigan Hall show for Big Japan Pro Wrestling. So I'm excited for it. I talked to the office as well. We're going to be seeing more Big Japan stars making appearances here in the United States. Okay. And also, not too long ago, Abdullah Kobayashi was in the UK.
Oh, for ICW, yeah, I seen that.
Yeah. So I'm excited to see my guys travel and be recognized more and more by international markets. And of course, it's good to see Big Japan once again back in the United States.
Yeah, any I know I've asked this before because I traveled to see him wrestle live. Yuya Aoki, any chance of him coming to the US at all?
It's something that they're working on. Okay. We're gonna be seeing. I can't really give out too much of the details coming up because of what the office has told me, but we'll be seeing a mixture of both the strong division guys, but also some of the younger deathmatch stars also getting their name out here into the United States and also probably in Europe as well. There's a lot of the UK fans really were excited to see Abdullah.
Yeah, he was in
I'm a big Abdullah guy. So
me too. I ever show you guys my picture of me and Abdullah? We worked a show together for
you did send it to me, yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I seen Kobayashi. He was up there he was in the first night he was doing a 4-way for the IWTV title. But they haven't uploaded. I'm like, I want to see that one. Come on, upload it.
when he came to Chicago for Ruthless Pro Wrestling, which is a company I do commentary for, a little plug for Ruthless Pro. But it was funny because after his match, he gets on the microphone and he's like, I have to do his voice because it's so funny how he does it. He's like, I like America. And the fans like, yeah. He's like, Japan, very little island. America, huge. Also, I like Chicago. I like a deeper dish. And this whole crowd loses their shit. They're like, yeah, deep dish, you know. They're all cheering. He's like naming off all these food products. He's like, oh, a hot dog, very good. Alcohol, very good. You know, it's like everybody's like cheering. It was like, this is so funny.
I seen that picture on Twitter. ICW retweet. I think he's at the airport. He took a picture, and the second one he was trying to eat his passport. I'm like, Abdullah, don't eat your passport.
Yeah, I love the wholesome moment with him and Big F and Joe meets each other at the British airport. And
Big F and Joe's doing pants.
Yeah. Like Joe just walks up in his underwear and he's like, "Hey, mate, got you yourself some cigarettes?" And they're like trading like Japanese cigarettes for British cigarettes, and they're like trading all this other stuff, and it's so funny. He's like, he brings him a beer. We'll just agree to him at the UK airport, and Abdul thinks it's like a British beer. It's just like Bud Light or something. And he's like, "Oh, the beer, okay." And he's like, "Yeah, that's American, mate." he's like, that's not British beer.
I laugh because I saw that picture and Big F George tweet. He's like, "Yeah, the airport security's looking at me because I had no pants on." I'm like, "Yeah, no shit, bro. You're in your underwear."
I love Joe, dude. Joe's such a trip. When he came to the United States, the first thing he said to my best friend, my broadcast partner, he's like, "Take me to the worst possible place to get food here in America. I want this experience." What my partner sent him to 7-Eleven. He's like, good luck with the gas station food. If you get food poisoning, it's on you. You know. Yeah.
That was Kobayashi going to 7-Eleven?
No, that was Big F and Joe from.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say 7-Eleven in Japan is actually pretty good, from what I understand.
7-Eleven in Japan's like the lifestyle for most people who can't afford anything else in Japan. It's like
was McDonald's apparently.
Yeah, there's McDonald's too. Yeah.
Alex Zane got a fucking promotion at Taco Bell, for God's sakes.
Dude, Alex is one of the guys started with me way back in the days, and I love Alex. So I'm so happy to see Alex. Like, and dude, that's a dedicated Taco Bell guy too. Like, that's not a gimmick. Like he's got a 6-pack abs, and yet he eats Taco Bell every day. I'm like, how the fuck did you pull that off? Because like I eat Taco Bell and I'm 400 pounds the next day, and then I'm like having a kidney.
Same, bro.
Come on now. Like, how's this working?
I love tacos, and then Alex was like, hold my beer. I'm like, I'm like, damn it, bro. He's like a hardcore like talking about Japan. They're like, here's our Alex Zane combo for World Tag League. I'm like, lucky bastard.
Yeah, so happy for him, man.
We need him on the show. We need him on the show.
I can message him. I can send him a message and see if he'll be available for it.
John is the Rocky Romero of this podcast / Big Japan.
Thank you. I take it as a compliment. I love Rocky. So thank you for that. It's a nice compliment.
Speaking of guests, I don't think Ethan knows who we have joining us next week. Maybe you want to make the announcement now, John, who's going to be joining us next week on the show.
Next week is my good friend. He is the member Project Havoc from Big Japan Pro Wrestling. He has also done tours for 01, the one and only Tyson Maddox.
Let's fucking go.
Yeah, I love Tyson. So I got the chance to interview him before to do some press for Big Japan. So it's pretty cool that I messaged him because Lewis is like, it'd be kind of great we have a guest. I'm like, let me go message Tyson and see what Tyson's up to. Yep. So next week he's supposed to be on the show with us.
All right. Tyson Maddox joining us. Yeah. It'll be awesome, man. So what should we flip to? All Japan Pro Wrestling Noah? What do you want
to? We could do All Japan first.
All right, All Japan new tag team champions. Was watching it. I'm sorry. Did you watch it, Ethan, this morning?
You can spoil it. I see who won anyway, but I didn't watch it. But I know who wins. You're good.
Okay, yeah. So Hideki Suzuki and Suwama are the new tag team champions. What a phenomenal match against Miyahara and Yuma Yagi. What an absolute fantastic match, man. I'm telling you, man, Suwama's 47 years old, but he still moves around like he's 23, 24 years old. What a great talent, man. But that was a tremendous, especially the last 5 minutes. You know, it's the type of match where you're at the edge of your seat, like who's going to win? And then, of course, Suzuki Suwama pulling out. But great match. Highly recommended. If anyone, to you guys, and anyone who's watching right now hasn't seen it, highly recommended match, man.
Sawama 3 belts technically because he's got the world tag titles because there's 2 belts, and he's got the All Japan TV 6-man tag titles.
Yeah, well, Sawama deserves it. He's a great talent, great freaking talent. Then we saw a number of wrestlers come in. I know Jun Saito and Kono came out. Shotaro Ashino came out with Kuroshio Tokyo Japan. They're not really a tag team, but they came out as if they wanted to challenge. Then Anzai and Ryuki Han, they all came out and they surrounded the ring like they want to be the next challengers, but they haven't determined who the next challenger is going to be. It was interesting. It was interesting to see Ashino and Kuroshio Tokyo Japan, or Japan Tokyo, however he words it, because they were just in a match against each other earlier. It was a tag team match. Ashino teaming with Hokuto Omori, and Tokyo Japan teaming with Tachibana, Seigo Tachibana.
Yeah,
the tag team. So it was interesting to see Ashino. Unless I didn't watch the match, unless something happened in the match when they became a team. But yeah, new tag team champions. Don't know who the next challenger is going to be. Who would you like to see as the next challenger there? John, who would you like to see as the next challenger? Or Ethan, if you want.
To be honest, there's so many good tag teams there. Like I'll be happy to see whoever challenges for the tag belts, because I think All Japan actually has a solid tag team division.
Yeah. What about what's going on? What are your thoughts there, Ethan?
Well, Anti is actually challenging for the Triple Crown heavyweight title, but I could see them challenging. I could see, honestly, Kento and Yuma need to take a break from the tag titles.
I'm sorry, who needs to take a break from the tag titles?
Kento and Yuma.
Yeah, I was kind of rooting for them because I'm a Kento Miyahara guy, but I'm kind of glad that they didn't win, because it would have been, oh god, they won again. They have the tag team titles again. But I'm glad Sawama and Suzuki won.
I could see I could see Minoru Suzuki and somebody.
Maybe Ashino came out with Kuroshio Japan, because Suzuki is going to resume teaming with Hokuto Omori. That could be a possibility. That would be a great match, by the way. Suzuki and Omori teaming up for the tag titles.
That actually would be really good. I agree with you on that, Lewis.
The battle of the Suzukis. The loser has to give her the last name. Here comes Minoru. Here comes Hideki. Oh crap.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It was funny because every time they get in the ring, like when I was doing like results and stuff, I'm like, "Oh crap, we're on teammate. All right, take it Suzuki." Because I every time they were in the ring together, I'm like, "Shit." Hideki punches Minoru. Minoru punches Hideki. Because I can't go Suzuki. It's like, oh crap, which one too?
They should have a TV show they just called The Suzukis, like a sitcom. At home with the Suzukis. It'd be like an 80s sitcom.
Driving a Suzuki car.
It'd be Minoru Suzuki, Hideki Suzuki, and Ricky Schroeder in the Suzukis.
It would almost be like the Clumps, They're all sitting at the table, just yelling at each other and stuff, on this episode of Lewis Loses His Shit.
Part 2. That's twice he lost shit.
I can just see them fighting over the last chicken wing or something, and they both reach for it and they both grab it, and then just a huge fight ensues in the
Bloodsport rules match. The winner gets the last chicken wing.
chicken wing rules match. Yeah,
but as one
chicken wing on a pole match.
As one is choking out the other, the chicken wing actually rolls over and a dog grabs it from the table and runs away from it.
Or Ricky Schroeder comes in and Gary Coleman comes and grabs it and runs off.
That's my chicken wing, bitch. No, it's mine.
Or Jason Bateman comes in or something. One of the kid stars from the 80s. But yeah,
it's like when your brothers fight for shit, and then like the younger brother takes it, runs away.
I like the Clumps. The Clumps. That's a great movie. Not even fresh of that. That would. Yeah, Minoru has his family, and Hideki has his family, and they're all just fighting with each other.
And they all look like him. Like even like the wife.
They all have the Suzuki hairs.
The buzz out hair looking patterns.
They go on Maury for DNA tests.
I hope Suzuki does not see this podcast because I do not want my life ended. Like,
yeah, but Grandpa, what you fucking say? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
They're gonna go on Maury Povich and get DNA tests.
You are the father.
Yeah. Get another ring. And Decky throws a chair and gets into it and Bud's port rolls. Maury.
In the case of Minoru Suzuki with Little Minoru Jr.,
And they bring out the lady who's afraid of olives. You ever see that clip? The lady who's afraid of the
Hey, Minoru Suzuki took his murdered grandpa nickname legit seriously.
Oh, but Suzuki grabs a bottle of olives and throws it or smashes it over the lady's head. Oh man, okay.
The stuff we think of. And the thing is, I haven't even had coffee yet, and I'm already like in this mindset. Literally, I just woke up, rolled out of bed, and I saw your guys' message. I'm like, am I late? Because you guys are like Eastern time. I'm like Central time. It's only rushing to the computer. I get here, no one's here. I'm just sitting here going like, okay, and I see Lewis's hands like around the computer messing with stuff. I'm like, I see you now, Lewis. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was making my tea and as I go, oh gosh, John's better rush. I better get John onto the screen here because he's probably waiting for a while.
No, you're right.
And I hope to God that you had to your coffee. Like, please let him have his coffee. I don't want him to be angry because he's gonna probably snap at me or something.
No.
But where were we? What were we talking? We talked about Suzuki, the Suzukis.
Yeah, we went on that for like 5-10 minutes, and then that went up the way.
I lost my
episode 1. Minoru actually teaches little Minoru how to ride a bicycle.
Episode 2, he takes him to wrestling school and gives him a gut style power driver to his bully.
Suzuki teaches his grandson how to choke kids out at school. Teacher gave him a D, so Suzuki shows up and chokes the teacher out.
The kid also wears fedoras and like all these oddball socks and stuff. Minoru Suzuki's actually a huge fan of socks. Like, dude, like his whole like Instagram is like him talking about socks, and I'm like, okay. Like, first time I ever came across it, I was like really taken back. But I'm like, yeah, this guy's gonna talk about like Karl Gotch and like the Fujiwara stuff. He's like, I love socks, and I'm like, okay, like. Just don't murder me,
Episode 3.
Don't mess with his socks.
His Minoru Jr. comes in. Grandpa, they fucked up my grade. Walks in, smacks across the face.
And the show just ends. The show ends right there. You have to have that Larry David music play too. The dun 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 dun. And he like smacks the shit out of the kid.
Minoru Suzuki meeting Larry David on Curb Your Enthusiasm would be hilarious. They
Larry David attacking Elmo actually caused people to have trauma. I was like, wow, like when I was growing up.
Come on.
If the Iron Claw was the worst thing you got from a dad or a grandpa.
That's great heat, brother.
Yeah.
He slapped the shit out.
Ethan's losing it. It's great. We're watching this podcast going like, you goofs.
I don't know if people that are watching, I don't know if they're laughing along with us or not, but the viewer keeps going up and down here. So we'll see. Hopefully they'll stick with us. We got 2 more things to talk about, I think, and then. Okay, what are we at? What are we at here? We're at okay. So we talked about Suzuki Sawama, Yuma Ansai, next challenger for Nakajima. Nakajima defeating Jun Saito, and Yuma Ansai steps up and says he wants to be the next challenger. I think he's going to defeat Nakajima for the title. That's my That's my. I'm sorry, I'm still thinking about Suzuki. So
Stop it, Lewis.
I think Enzai is gonna be the next champion. That's my thought. I think it's gonna be a great match. But Ethan, I'll let you talk about it. I know you're an Enzai guy. What do you think is gonna? You think he's the next champion, or what do you think that match is gonna? What's gonna happen in that one?
Oh, please put the title on Enzai. Let's go. Strap him to the moon. Nakajima, he's a great champion, but I don't see him being here training much longer after the champion carnival. Oh my god, my ribs hurt. That was too funny. Whew. Anyway, I can see Enzai winning some titles this year. Whatever. But I forgot to mention the Friday show, the Minoru Suzuki and Hikaru Saito match. That one was pretty good. If you have time to watch that one.
Yeah, that's the one I want to see. That's one of the matches I want to see that I haven't been able to see yet. And it was like a half an hour long, wasn't it? It was a long match. It was probably the longest.
It was like 25, 30 minutes. I think it was like 28 minutes or something like that.
Is that the longest match Sato's ever been involved in? I mean, usually his matches are like 4 or 5 minutes long.
No, he's been in longer. I know 10-year project. He's one half of United Nation tag. That United National tag champs with Hideki Suzuki. And Minoru Suzuki's actually one third of their 6-man tag champs too, with brother Yashi and Kengo.
Okay.
Holy fuck, that was epic. That was the best.
Yeah. The Saitos you said they had to relinquish the G Infinity titles as well, right?
Yep. So the Glee had their recent show Sunday, I believe, Saturday or Sunday, or yesterday or Friday. I mean, and June was in a 6-man tag, and after the match, they had to say they had vacated the titles. So the March 11, their March show, it's gonna be to be determined.
Okay, all right. So, and I know Rei Saito jumped on Twitter today saying that as soon as he's back, him and June are going to get the titles back from Suzuki and Sawama. So that's going to be I think Suzuki and Sawama are going to hold it. I think we're going to see the Saitos going after them after we find out who the first challenge is going to be for. I don't know how long Saito's going to be out for. I think it's indefinite with the shoulder. But
originally said 3 weeks, but he said his shoulders getting worse. Like timing's getting worse, so it might be a little longer, like 6 to 8 weeks. I think that he said, but I mean that could change.
Okay, well, we'll definitely see Suzuki and Sawama against the Saitos down the road. So that's a match that I'm looking forward to. So let's jump to Noah. Pro Wrestling Noah, the Victory Challenge Tag League began, and I was a little disappointed. It was I forgot the venue they were in. It was a nice venue, but there was only 309 fans in attendance for the beginning of the Noah Tag League. That seemed like I don't know. There should have been more fans than that, or more interest in their tag league.
They were at the Yokohama Radin Hall. That's what they were at. Yeah,
that's yeah, okay. So maybe just that's the size of the arena. But for the tag league, I mean, New Japan Pro Wrestling, when they kick off their tag league, there's a lot more fans in attendance. I'm not saying they're going to reach New Japan Pro Wrestling numbers, but I thought maybe like 1,200, 1,300 fans would be.
Well, how big is this venue actually?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I don't think it's I can look it up right now, but I don't think it's that big of a venue. But what was it? Yokohama Radiant Hall, you said?
Yeah.
I'll look it up. But the Bane and Wolf versus Kitamiya and Daki Inaba, that was just an absolutely incredible match. And I know you said it last week or the week before. We weren't on last week, but Bane and Wolf, oh man, what an amazing tag team they are. They are
those
one of the best
brothers are phenomenal.
Yeah, one of the best tag teams in the world, and they got the victory in that one. Great match. Did anybody see that match? Anybody watch that match?
I haven't had the chance yet.
Well, what'd you think of that match then, Ethan?
That was a really fun match. That one. So on that show, the Saturday show, yesterday show, that one match and the main event were my 2 matches of the show.
What was the other match?
The main event, the Team Noah versus Segura and Sasaki. The main event of Saturday show, that one was really good.
It says the Yokohama Radiant Hall says the hall can accommodate various occasions of any size up to a 6,000 person event. I don't think they could hold 6,000 fans in that arena unless it's like a
concert or something.
Concert. Let me see.
Yeah, but if you're doing a wrestling show, you could probably get half of that. maybe 4,000 at the most.
Oh, here, okay. So the highest claimed attendance for Yokohama Radiant Hall was 550 people for a Dragon Gate show in 2015. So they don't hold that many. But anyway, okay. So I'm sure they'll get more fans. They'll be more interested in. I don't know why they would choose that venue though for the opening night of their tag league. You think they should have gone to a bigger arena, or you think they just had that set and they decided to, announce a tag league after the fact?
They should have stayed in Corrigan if I'm being honest.
What's that?
They should have stayed in Corrigan Hall because they were there.
Yeah, no, they should have, without a doubt. They would have had 1,300 people at Corrigan Hall. I think the final match is going to be at Corrigan Hall, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's on March 10th. That's the finals of the.
Yeah, it's the final tag league. Like, it's the last of the round robin, and then the finals are on the same night. So.
Yeah. So, Oka Sasaki, they're not treating him as like a rookie, because he's getting wins. He's getting big wins. He won the match for his team in the main event. He teamed with Segura against Atsushi Kotage and Go Shiozaki.
Yeah. And
he actually tapped out Kotage. I was surprised that they're not really treating him like a rookie. They're treating him like a regular star. Usually the rookies, like you look at Yu Iwata, who's teaming with Keno. He's going to take every loss for the team because he's a rookie. But they're really pushing Sasaki. What are your thoughts on Sasaki? You think he has it? You think he has the it factor? Whoever wants to take it.
I think they see a lot of potential in him. I remember your interview with Marufuji, and you asked Marufuji if there's any young talent that they're currently looking to build into like future aces. Now, I think he might actually be one of those guys that they kind of hinted towards.
Yeah, I mean, he looks like he has great potential. He still might be a little green, but they're giving him big wins. This is like, I think this is his second tap out win, or second or third tap out win. But it's
I think we're not trying to cut you off, Liz, but I think we kind of look at the history of pro wrestling Noah as that Misawa curse, where when Misawa was running Noah, that a lot of the younger guys, and they were given a pretty good push, they didn't really establish like huge stars outside of Kenta and Marufuji. So when Misawa passed away, a lot of people kind of felt like, well, who's going to carry the company now? And I feel like what Noah's trying to do now more than ever is getting the future prepared, getting guys ready to be like the next ace, because the older guard is getting up in age, and it's time to make sure there's someone there to take over once they retire, or they kind of move into more of an office job. So I think that's their reasoning behind some of the guys who are getting pushed.
Yeah, that's a good point. Good point there. Yu Iwata, I like him. He's a good talent, and I think Keno's going to take him. Is going to be like a mentor to him going forward.
I think so.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a mentor for maybe a few months, and then Iwata's probably going to go on excursion for a bit. But Iwata's going to be that's another guy that I could see being a star for Pro Wrestling Noah for the next 10, 20 years. He's definitely an excellent talent. He's not going to, unfortunately, I think him and Keno are not going to win one match in this tournament. I think Iwata's going to take all the losses, but maybe even after this challenge tag league, maybe he'll go on excursion. Who just went on excursion for Noah? Was it Fujiwara?
Fujiwara went, Ozawa went, and Inamura all went.
So they all went. Okay. So they got to get some new young guys. Well, they got Sasaki. I don't think Sasaki. You think they'd send Sasaki on excursion, or you think he's set in Noah?
I think he's set in Noah, honestly.
I was surprised Kiyomiya and Oiwa lost. Especially, Huxley and Thatcher, even though I'm not the biggest Thatcher fan, they make a great tag team, but I thought this was going to be Kiyomiya and Oiwa's league, so I don't know anymore after losing their first match.
They still got time. It's their own one, but they still got. I could see them being like, if I had to make my finals, I could see Dragon Bane and Alpha Wolf being one finalist. The other finals, I could see. I don't know, Segura and Sasaki, if I'm just shooting the dark.
Yeah. What about Sawyer and Kondo? Did you watch any of the Victory Tag League?
Yeah, I watched the whole show.
Did you see Sawyer and Kondo finish off Iwata with that massive double clothesline?
I did see that, yeah.
I thought Iwata's head was going to fly off and into like the 8th row. My goodness. It's a good thing you're not a wrestler anymore, John, because if you got hit with that, you probably you probably think you were Minoru Suzuki or something, when you woke up. There was a huge clothesline. They just oh my god, it was just a massive double clothesline on Iwata, which is
next week. I'll try to shape some patterns to my balding hair.
Okay.
Just, to entertain you there, Lewis.
You don't have to shave. Just get a wig. Just get like the rubber and with the patches. He used to have his hair with the patches, right? He used to have little patches of hair. He should go back to that. That was a good hairstyle for Suzuki. But I think that's it. Anything else we want to talk about before we wrap this up?
Well, Stardom. Right quick, Lewis.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Talk a little bit about Stardom. We're like an hour 16 minutes. Talk a little bit about Stardom, and then we'll just wrap this up.
So yesterday, Stardom had a show. It wasn't uploaded, so I'm not going to give out results for that show.
That's okay. Give out results. Don't worry about it. If anyone who's watching right now, if you don't want results for the Stardom show, maybe it's hour 17 minutes in. Time to sign off. We'll give you 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead.
So, non-title match: Hanako defeat Fukindev, Seki Kashima, and Mayu Iwatani in a 4-way match. Watanabe started Ruka defeated Hiden, Saida, and Yuzuki at 12 minutes via best saw kick. Someone's been watching Tajiri a lot. 8-woman tag. We had Crazy Star, May Sakura, and Julia defeating Cosmic Angels. Utami Haishisa and Mayu Masaki versus Rina and Natsuhiko Tori goes to a 15-minute time of draw. First one in a while, so I'm pretty proud of them. FWC defeat Sai Kamatani Lacey at 14 minutes and 3 seconds. And Empress Nexus Phoenix defeating God's Eye at 11 minutes and 35 seconds. That was yesterday's show. And today's show, they did a one. So it's funny. They said they're doing a YouTube thing, but it's a one camera show. So literally the camera is like here and the ring is like my wall over there. That's how far the camera was. So it looks like you're watching ants wrestling. But I was but they said they're testing out and they're going to do an edit version on Star World. But I don't have the results, so I can't give that one out. But apparently the main event was really good.
All right, man. All right. Before we wrap it up, anything else, John? Or are we good for this week? Or
we're pretty good for this week. I'm excited for next week. Having Tyson with us for the interview. So, and Tyson's such a cool guy, man. So it's going to be a fun podcast. Is
he coming back to?
Yes.
NJPW? Okay.
Yes, he is actually coming back. That's been confirmed to me by him and also the office.
All right, we will talk about that with Tyson next week. So next week, don't forget, everybody, Tyson Maddox will be joining us. Big Japan Pro Wrestling. Looking forward to that next week. And on that note, I'm going to say, John, Ethan, it's always a pleasure. Guys are great. Looking forward to next week. And until then, talk to you during the week, guys, and enjoy the rest of your week. And we will connect soon, man.
Absolutely, Lewis.
All right. Thank you, everybody that's been watching today. Really appreciate it. Again, BodySlam.net. Check them out. BodySlam.net, your source for professional wrestling news. And on that note, I'm going to say thank you. Take care. Bye-bye. And stay safe, everyone. So long. Bye-bye.